Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by. Welcome to the Millennials, Boomers, Gen Xers, and Sustainability webinar. During the presentation, all participants will be in a listen-only mode. If you would like to ask a question during the presentation, please use the chat feature located in the lower left corner of your screen. If you need to reach an operator at any time, please press *0. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded Thursday, September 18th, 2014. I would now like to turn the conference over to Melanie Degnan with Buzzback. Please go ahead.
Thank you for joining us today, everyone. I would like to introduce Tatiana Gormley, Senior Research Manager. Tatiana has been with Buzzback since 2005, working with companies in the beauty, CPG, food and beverage, advertising, and pharmaceutical industries. She has designed and managed many AMUs, IHUTs, naming evaluations, package and concept evaluations, and exploratory studies for some of Buzzback's top clients. She is an expert in the utilization of Buzzback's innovative enabling and projective techniques and brings over 3 years of supplier-side marketing experience from Brazil. Fluent in 3 languages, she holds a BA in Communications and Marketing from Mackenzie University in Brazil and a Master's in Business and Market Research from Fairfield University. Tatiana, please go ahead.
Thank you, Melanie. Welcome, everyone. So first of all, I wanted to give you a little bit of a background on why sustainability. Within the past 2 years, we have explored several different platforms that are the interests of our clients. And most recently, we had a study on healthy and what it means, or what are the different dimensions of healthy. So when we ask you and our clients, what is it that you want to explore next? We had an overwhelming amount of votes for sustainability. But why is sustainability so important? Why is it that everybody wants to know about it? That's because sustainability is a critical initiative for many of you and the companies you work for, and it impacts many areas of your business. But more importantly, sustainability is also about the future. And the mindset of consumers nowadays reflecting that change in values and that focus on products that are more sustainable and a sense of purpose overall. So on top of that, a lot of the products that we have in market nowadays are support sustainability, but do you even know? Do consumers even know? Do they even care? What does that mean? So in order to explore sustainability in the topic, we partner with the Rainforest Alliance, which many of you probably know and may even work with, because we wanted to work with an organization that has sustainability as part of their DNA. So, help us make sure that we develop the right questions and how to talk to consumers. And a little bit of the Rainforest Alliance, their mission is to ensure biodiversity and sustainable livelihoods. And they work with a lot of the large corporations nowadays to make sure that they know how to start those initiatives. So how do we talk about sustainability? There's many different ways people talk about sustainability, but for the purposes of this study, we're following the definition that the Rainforest Alliance uses, which is when we refer to sustainability, we mean that crops are grown, wood is harvested, and products are manufactured in ways that support the long-term health of the environment and the social and economic well-being of people everywhere. So we wanted to uncover what are some of the key associations with sustainability in the consumer mind. What are the understanding when they hear the term sustainability? Do they even understand what it is? So we wanted to go deep and understand not just what the initial associations are, but the imageries, the emotions, any products and categories, or even brands that are associated with the term sustainability. We'll do that through the use of visuals and visual associations, so words and products that come to mind. And we also use some projective and enabling techniques in order to get a deeper understanding of what comes to mind in the mind of a consumer. We conducted the study across 5 different markets: US, UK, Brazil, India, and China, and we had about 400 respondents per market. But for today, we are going to focus on US and the UK. And that's because we are also looking at 3 target groups. We're looking at the generational groups, so millennials, Gen X, and baby boomers. But why is that? We think it's important to understand these targets and if there are any differences among them, because when you're trying to engage them, you want to know, how do I talk to each one of those? And especially because millennials are expected to spend more than $200 billion annually starting in 2017. And baby boomers are still the largest consumer group in America, accounting for 40% or more of total consumer demand. So they're definitely very important consumer targets. On the other hand, Generation X respondents tend to be a little bit more frugal than their counterparts, and they're very independent and self-reliant. So counting on your brand prestige alone won't convince them. As with every research study, we have some partners that have worked with us. So use Sample, Bridge, and DataWise, some of them. To start the study, we first wanted to ask them, what are some of the key associations that come to mind? What are the top 3 words that come to mind when you think about sustainability? And what is interesting is across all generations, but especially millennials, we see a lot of words related to just the environment, or some of those keywords that we see played in the media all the time. So it's about green or green energy, it's about the environment specifically, or clean energy, or even recycling. So they're talking more about initiatives, or what can they do to be a little bit more sustainable. But the interesting thing is that for baby boomers, you start seeing a little bit more about renewable sources, or something that is lasting, or a balance, being balanced with the environment. So there's not a lot of differences, but there's some nuances between how the targets perceive and understand the sustainability term. We also asked them, and what are those words that you are least associated with the sustainability? What is it that sustainability is not? And waste seems to be the main word that comes to mind across all generations. But we see some differences. Where we look at millennials, for example, in the U.S., they're talking about cheap. So they think that anything that is sustainable tends to be a little bit more expensive. Gen X respondents, on the other hand, are talking about some energy sources. So oil or coal or gas are things that they don't associate with sustainability. On the other hand, when you look at baby boomers, they are talking about greed, or something that is disposable or wasteful. Those are definitely not things that come to mind when they think about sustainability. In addition to the unaided associations, we also gave them a list of associations, and we said, well, you've mentioned some of them, but from this list, what is it that you associate or do you think is most similar to sustainability? And again, we see that theme related to the environment. It's all about being environmentally friendly, natural, preserving the environment, and so on. But what is interesting is that if you look at the little notes with the flags underneath each one of the word associations, most of those associations are higher among Gen X respondents and baby boomers. So it's just telling us that overall, the millennials are a little less involved in the category. It doesn't necessarily mean that they care less. It just means that they have fewer associations. Maybe they just need to be a little bit more informed about what sustainability means. We also wanted to uncover some emotional and nonverbal insights, because we know that only about 5 to 20% of the decisions people make are conscious, and most of the communication is nonverbal. So through the use of images, we get to that nonverbal, more emotional associations and insights. And we do that through the use of our BuzzBack eCollage. And the way that eCollage works is we give respondents a variety of images that they can pick from, so about 100 to 120 images with a variety of themes. They're both positive, negative, There are some more obvious images. There are some that are a little bit more abstract. We really want to give them a variety of images that they can pick from and not bias their responses. So they can pick the images. They can use them as many times as they want, drag and drop, resize them, move them around. They can pick a background color. They can also add text in order to explain what sustainability comes to mind.